Hi there, Victor Pross speaking to you, anarchist artist. Today I want to talk about Remembrance Day and a little bit of autobiography. First is that when I was a kid or a teenager, I used to be a big World War II buff. I would watch documentaries and sign out books at the library and read everything I'd get my hands on practically. And one of the things that I noticed about not so much the books that I read, but the documentaries and things that I've been taught in high school was that regarding World War II was that the general slant was thank God for the American government when it intervened in World War II when it did, that if it weren't for them, we would all be speaking German today. See, the idea here was that Hitler would have achieved his 1,000-year reign of conquering the world, as he claimed. Of course, he was a sociopath, right? But this is the type of crap that, of course, that we were fed. That if it wasn't for the American government, that Hitler would have achieved his psychotic dreams. And so we're all thankful for the American government. And this is the shit. This is the bullshit that people believe. I mean, we're taking the word of a sociopath with his wet dreams of conquering the entire world, and the opponents took a hold of that and ran with it. It's like, yeah, that's what he wanted to do, but we rushed in like the Mounties and saved the day. So, and even as a kid, I always thought, that's just a lot of shit. Because get this. Because I was so well versed on the subject, even as a kid, watching documentaries and reading books and just extracting all the things that, filtering it through my own head and taking things that were just basic historical facts and mishing that with other things to see if they lined up with other asserted facts. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. This whole thing about Hitler is one great historical blunder was Hitler attacking Russia. That's acknowledged pretty much among scholars and writers, and the general rank and file man on the street understands what a blundering, idiotic mistake that was, which ultimately led to Hitler's downfall. Now, Russia is a powerful nation. It was isolated. It was one country, and it was a big mistake to attack them. So, but now we're told at the same time that thank God for the American intervention into World War II, that if it wasn't for them, we would all be speaking German today. So how is it that Hitler can make this blundering mistake of attacking one country that kicked his ass, but the entire world, including Russia, because they're a part of the world, weren't they? Hitler would have overtaken the world, and were it not for the American troops intervening when they did. So Hitler made a mistake by attacking Russia. Maybe he should have just avoided Russia and then just conquered the rest of the world with the exception of Russia, you see, and everything just would have been hunky-dory. I mean, does this make any sense to you at all? So even as a kid, or as a teenager, I realized that I wasn't getting the straight-up goods on this shit. You know, I really wasn't. Not in school, not in a lot of the documentaries that I was watching at the time, and the general cultural zeitgeist is filled to the rafters with the bullshit, of course, right? And another thing too that I found rather amazing and was that Goebbels, I couldn't even pronounce it then. So as a kid, I pronounced it gerbils, right? And just to let you know, I'm not sure if you're aware, I am an artist, a caricaturist, and I used to draw gerbils. You'd recognize it as him. It had a human head, his head, and on the body of a gerbil, right? So I would draw Hitler and his henchmen in very compromising ways and very ridiculous ways, which kind of alerted the attention of my teachers at the time. But I was just having fun with this, and the thing was is that as an artist, as a caricaturist, I was kind of like stepping outside, as if I were a an alien intelligence who had complete objectivity, and I was looking on my fellow creatures with a bemused disdain, but fully objective, and just sorting the facts out, and I kind of expressed all of that in art. And so the crap that I was being fed, I kind of like just filtered it through my head, and out it came on paper or canvas in satire. And now I know that humor and satire all aside, I know that this is supposed to be considered a a somber day for the brave men and women who fought to preserve our freedoms. Fought to preserve our freedoms. This is the cultural narrative that we're all fed, and you gotta ask one simple question. Is this really true? I mean, here's the thing, and these are the thoughts that I had even as a young man, as a teenager. I knew, as it was widely reported, that all the other countries were aggressive countries. They were dictatorships. They were, or at least tin pot dictators, and they did not respect the rights of their citizens. They drafted them in wars. They propagandized them right up to the eardrums with the most rank and with the most vilest of bullshit that you can imagine, turning teenagers into hateful killing machines. And you can see this in Muslim countries in Europe or whatnot. And the idea was that was told to us is that America is the sole exception to the rest of the world. The sole exception to the rest of the world. America has never is a beacon of freedom. It's a constitutional republic. It has never fought wars of aggression. It never initiated any aggression. It's always been in the defense of the underdog, and it's always been in self-defense. This is the narrative that we've been told. And it doesn't matter how many Vietnams or Iraqi wars pile up on top of one another. I mean, this is the same clusterfuck of bullshit that we still believe, but in diminishing amounts, though, because there is a global awakening that's getting a sneaky suspicion that this is all bullshit. And but out comes the red poppy bullshit. I mean, you can still count on it. People who are going to give a moment of silence for the brave men and women who fought to preserve our freedoms. But it is all bullshit, though, because the fact of the matter is that the government is the mafia writ large. The government is the mafia writ large. So you have your Al Capones, you have the ruling elite, the upper echelons. Okay, you have that small cadre of sociopaths who are in conflict and battle and disagreements and squabbles with other sociopaths around the globe, and what they are doing is sending your children to fight their battles, and this leads to the wholesale pile up to the sky of death. Billions of people killed in the 20th century over bullshit. And this whole thing about the Iraqi war, is that Saddam insane was a nasty guy, and he had to go. We had to take him down. Well, I'm not making any defense of Saddam Hussein. Of course he was an asshole, as was Gaddafi. But the fact of the matter is that when the states bombed that country, they were bombing specifically the infrastructure of that country, killing hundreds and thousands of civilians and driving the rest out of the country in poverty and despair. And all of this was, of course, to take down one guy. And what is the body count of not only American soldiers but of Iraqi civilians? So to me, it's just a bunch of bullshit, and the American government isn't any defender of rights let alone defending the rights of foreign peoples. They can't even respect the rights of their own citizenry, for Christ's sakes. So of course it's all bullshit. I can't believe that anybody is still buying into this crap. You know, like, wake up, wake the fuck up. These people don't care about you. They got machine hearts and 10 heads. Okay, and just like gerbils, they're filling you with a lot of fucking bullshit. So I don't think that this should be a controversial statement on my side, because all you got to do, it's there to be seen. It's there to be seen. All you have to do is open your eyes, be intellectually honest, check out all types of media, particularly alternative media, that have no incentive to lie to you like mainstream media, and you can see it for yourself. So the government is the mafia writ large, and this whole thing about the American government being the sole beacon of freedom to spread democracy throughout the world, and that they're the good guys wearing the white hats. It's not true, folks. It's not true. And that's all I have to say on that, and thank you so much for listening. This is Victor Pross, anarchist artist. Pop goes the culture.